Hey guys, it's Mongolian Mindset, and today we're gonna be helping a member find his personality type. You go by Alec or Alec?
Alec.
Alec, okay.
Yeah.
So Alec, you don't have to go into any of your traumas or anything like that. We'll just be asking you pretty common questions, and you answer them, and we're gonna use that to triangulate down on your personality type. Um, just me and Shelly. So, what got you into typology, man? Introduce yourself.
Uh, so I don't know. I've always like kind of had like a loss for myself, kind of. So I was just kind of like maybe the past couple of years I've been kind of like trying to figure out. So I got into like Myers-Briggs a little bit, and it was more like my friend who was more kind of like
Mhm.
deeper into it. But over the course, like I took tests and did all this and that, and I don't know. I think I'm more leaning towards an INFP, but like getting, this right now is, you know, gonna be pretty good to, confirm that or deny that or, whatnot. So
Yeah.
it's more just like kind of understanding myself, really.
Mhm. And what about it appeals to you? Should be center myself and shut up.
Uh, just a lot. Like, I don't know, everyone's kind of, I don't know, just different or whatever. So it's kind of like it's interesting to see everyone's like perspective and how, it connects towards each other or whatnot.
Hmm.
I don't
What do
know.
you think are the worst parts about the whole typology thing?
I think that, people can have that label on people, right? Like I feel like there's a lot more than just a typing on people.
Hmm.
So although you might be like defined more leaning towards, a specific typing or whatever, that doesn't, always define or a
Hmm.
person or their values or, whatnot. So
Yeah, I think what people get the misconception is that by being a certain type that they're guaranteed to get some type of acceptance or anything.
yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, there's bum ENTJs, there's bum INTJs, there's bum fucking ENTPs, there's great ENTPs, there's great
Right.
INTPs, like just
Yeah,
because
for
you're a certain
sure.
type don't mean shit. You still got to put in the work at the end of
Oh
it,
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
100%.
I definitely been through like a lot of I don't know, maybe like toxic qualities to kind of like figure that out about myself that I don't like. So,
Hmm.
that's how you improve, right? So,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. What do you see yourself for the next 5 to 10 years?
uh, just hopefully like in a stable position. Like I don't care about making it big or rich or whatever, but as long as I'm like at peace and, you know, just getting by, I guess, not struggling.
Okay. What do you want to be remembered for?
I'm sorry.
What do you want to be want? What do you want to be remembered for?
Remembered for probably like just like an easygoing person. Just, you know,
Hmm.
yeah, and just someone that people can confide in, I guess.
Okay.
What are some of your interests or hobbies?
Interested hobbies. I like getting out. I like nature. You know, I like gaming. I like socializing. Uh, just, I'm definitely more in tune with like nature, I guess. So
Hmm.
yeah, definitely away from like the society standards and all that.
So, how do you feel in social settings with people you don't know?
Uh, Usually very nervous and quiet.
What do you think is your superpower of like all your skills? What do you think is your superpower? Like,
Um,
I feel like I'll just give you an example. I feel like my superpower is telling people what to do. I'm very good at telling people what to do.
I'm very good about like seeing other people's point of view and stuff like that. So I think I'm very, I like to maintain like the peace. So I think I'm very understanding. So I think that's probably it.
Okay. So you're like a very understanding person.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What do you think are the most child? What's something that stresses you out?
Uh, Probably like people that kind of put themselves first and don't like care about, other people or whatever.
Uh,
like no common courtesy, and you know.
Okay. Um, what is like a daily thing that stresses you out?
Daily thing that stresses me out.
Like a thing.
You mean like overall or just like in general? Like overall, like I guess stressing about like the whole like world, I guess, right? Like the 9 to 5 and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you mean like more on a personal level or just kind of like an overall like
Yeah, just
society standard
like
Like in your own life.
in my own life. I don't know, just I guess routine.
The what?
Being like stuck to a routine.
That stresses you out.
Yeah.
wow.
Do
Why
you
is
get
it?
bored easily?
I get bored easily and I feel like I let other people down a lot, so I don't know. That might be, past trauma related or whatever, so I don't
Why do
know.
you think you let people down? Just curious.
I just feel like eventually it comes to a point where, the other person's just gonna, I don't know. Like it's just so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, if you were to be on a team, what role do you think you would play?
Uh Probably like the supportive kind of,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like I'm also like very competitive too. So like
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely outshine or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
come to it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. Um,
H- How do you behave when you get upset?
I'm a pretty emotional person, and I usually just kind of like go off on my own. I'm very like kind of a loner type.
okay.
So I kind of like dealt with that too. Like I have a lot of kind of like mood swings, kind of like I don't know, trying to control my moods or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
outbursts. Because I usually like if I had like an outburst or whatever, because it usually takes me a while to. I'm kind of like a volcano when it comes to like anger or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
over a course of time, like I usually like to maintain like the peace. So small things will add up, and eventually like some little thing will break or whatever, and then I'll just kind of erupt on whoever for even like a small reason. So I don't really like that, but
Mm-hmm.
I've also been trying to like be a little bit more like assertive.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that was kind of hard in the past, and it
Mm-hmm.
still kind of is, but I'm working on it. So it's hard to say no, but I think it's if I learn that, then it's definitely better, in the long term.
Do you typically know what you want, and do you find it difficult to make decisions in life?
I find it difficult to make decisions in life. Yeah, I feel like I'm constantly torn. There's like a lot of options, so it's hard to kind of like dedicate to one.
Okay. If you were to bet on one of your skills, what would it be?
Uh, I think I'm trustworthy, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Where do you get the
yeah.
trust? Like, where do you find that? Like what motivates you to be trustworthy?
I think probably like I don't know, like I just like having a good standing with other people and whatnot. And I feel like maybe like while growing up or whatever, like uh I don't know like if I should get into it, it's gonna but I don't know, like my parents weren't really that trustworthy or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like that's kind of like a moral in my life. So I don't know, I just don't like people who have that tendency to be like that kind of shady or whatever.
What would cause you to cut someone out of your life?
It, it would take a lot. It takes like a really betrayal, like my morals. Like my friend was like hitting on like my ex-girlfriend or whatever, like one of my best friends, and that like was a huge line. So I haven't talked to him since, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It takes like, because I don't know. I feel like I would never do that. I feel like that's just a total betrayal. So
Mm-hmm.
it takes definitely like breaking one of those core values, I guess. I don't know.
How do you learn new things?
Um, I'm very like analytical, so I feel like after like a certain like situation or whatever, I think I think that's definitely like I perceive a lot. I always felt like I was kind of like an outsider and like an audience member, just watching like everyone else like live their life on stage, if that makes any sense. So I feel like I can visualize a lot that's like in between the lines and a lot that's like going on.
Mm-hmm.
So and see through other people's perspective, and I kind of like internalize that a lot. So I think I learn mainly just by watching others and other situations more than doing myself.
Okay. Um, how do you know if someone's telling you something that's actual factual? Factual.
I usually like to I kind of like do my own research.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, what is like when was the last time you read a book? And what was the
Read
book?
it was a fantasy book. It was a long time ago. It's called The Eye of the World.
Uh-huh.
I would like to get more into reading, but it's just something I haven't done, so.
Yeah. Um.
What
Hmm.
are some sorry. Um shit. Mercer, sorry.
Damn, Shelly, you fucked me up. What are your goals for this year?
Uh, I would like to get like probably like a better stable job and I guess just be happier than I was the previous year, so be in a better spot.
What do you think is something that inhibits you the most about yourself?
Just the way I view myself, I guess.
Like, what do you mean?
Um, I just have like I go back and forth, but I don't really like believe in myself enough. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I think that just like I know I'm capable, but at the same time, I don't feel like I deserve success. So I don't know. It's like an internal battle like that.
Mm. Well, why do you feel was that, you know? Why do you feel like you don't deserve success?
Uh, yeah, it's like I don't know. It's just like a good question. Just felt like I don't know. Just like I never really felt fit in or would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's one of your favorite memory and your worst but not traumatic memory?
Uh, I don't know. Like probably like when I was a kid or whatever. Like I was very imaginative, so I liked you know being off in my own world, like playing with like my stuffed animals or like dragons and all this stuff. So I think that I don't know. That's the first thing that pops into my mind. But traumatic wise, like
Just your worst memory, just nothing that's traumatic.
well, yeah, yeah. Like worst memory wise, like I guess just being embarrassed in front of like a lot of people.
How do you feel about taking care of other people?
Uh, I like taking care of other people. Yeah. I feel like it's hard for me to do that too, though, when I can't necessarily take care of myself as much as I should. So, but
Mm-hmm.
I do like prioritize other people over myself though.
What was your best job, and why do you what was your best job? Best job you
Uh,
ever had?
it's probably like a facilities like worker with it was with my father at the time, but the other guy like who I worked under was he was a really like cool guy. So I don't know, like we got a lot done and it was like a bunch of different like tasks or whatever, like painting and electrical and it's kind of like shooting the shit, like driving out
Mm-hmm.
like in golf carts and doing all stuff around this. It was like on a school campus, so
Mm-hmm.
it's just like a bunch of different stuff, but it was pretty enjoyable. Every day was different.
Mm-hmm. Seem to really like variety.
Yeah.
Um, and what was your worst job?
Worst job was probably like I worked at Party City when it was like my first job. It was
Mm-hmm.
just like uh it's not that I don't mind like working under people, but people that feel like they kind of like deserve, I don't know, they feel like empowered by it. So like just bossing and stuff like that. They can,
How do you
yeah, I don't know.
yeah, that's fine. How do you deal with management?
Management, like I think I'm good management wise. Like I feel like if I was like in a leadership position, like I like I like managers that like respect their employees, and don't treat them like a number. So,
Mm-hmm.
but working under, it really depends on the person, I guess. Like in the whole scheme of things, like if you look at the world, then I don't you kind of need it, right? But at the same time, like I just don't like treating people like they're numbers, kind of.
Do you feel like people take advantage of you, maybe,
Yeah, I
in
think so. I think so.
environment?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Um,
What's your relationship with past? Like, what do you think about it?
I didn't catch the last part. Sorry.
Like, what's your relationship with the past?
Oh, with the past, I feel like my head's constantly stuck in the past and it's kind of like harder to move forward. I feel like I'm always over analyzing or thinking about it.
in what way do you go about it?
Um, Usually like I guess dreams and stuff a lot because I had a tough time in school.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know like how I would get past or whatever, but a lot of like dreams and stuff usually take place in schooling environments. I always felt like I couldn't like really be myself because I was afraid of like what the other kids would like think or whatever. Like there was always like some judgment kind of aspect towards it. So I was always just kind of silent. And I guess I kind of regret that.
Well, okay, that's a lot, man.
If you could travel to any time period, what would it be?
Um
And why?
probably yeah, probably like I don't have like a specific time period, but probably before like all the internet and stuff like that. Because I feel like the internet like can seeing all these options and everyone else like succeeding and like all these expectations and I feel like it's a lot to put on someone versus like living in your own environment and getting used to the people around you and progressing in your own pace kind of. I feel like there's a lot of pressure, so I don't know.
Okay.
What makes you trust someone?
I feel like I'm good at reading people, and like a first interaction with someone, like I feel like I I kind of know at that moment if I'm gonna invest my energy into you or not. And I don't know, I'm good about like reading auras and just sensing that on like people. So I don't know. I get drained like fairly easily, so it's kind of like hard for me to like I could be out for a lot of the time, like my friends in the past and stuff like that, they'd be like, "You alive? Or you good?" Or because I just vanish for, times on end. So,
mhm. What's 3 words your friends would use to describe you?
uh, probably like friendly. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't really know, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Um, hmm. If you could be born, if you could have any job in the world, what would you want and why?
Any job in the world.
Mm.
I would have to like change a lot about myself, but like being like some sort of maybe like someone who like a manager of like a community or something like brings a lot of people together and like feel like I feel like I'm good at like a leadership sort of role because of, being able to make everyone feel included.
What do you think the biggest problem is with humanity?
Uh, just very like life sucking, honestly. Like I don't maybe like just the drive of like how the drive of like progressing versus like well like money and power is it just kind of like sucks the soul out of like people's humanity, I feel like they lose their sense of self to like progress, a corporation or for the an economic value. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I just feel like it's very like life sucking to take someone's individuality, I guess.
And what's a skill everyone should have?
Well, definitely
Mm.
being like open to others' ideas.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm gonna break down what I got. Okay.
Yeah,
I care about a stable position. That's SI. Seeing other people's point of view. That's NE. People that don't care about other people is something that bothers you. I'd say that's affiliative. You fear letting people down. Constantly torn. There is a lot of options. That's NE. My morals. You talked about that. That was FI. You don't like breaking core values. FI. Um, you wanted a better, stable job. SI. You talked about being your own world when you were a kid, and that was like one of your best memories. That's abstract. Embarrassed in front of a lot of people. That's gonna be FI. Okay. FI people, you can really shame them in front of a lot of people, and it really affects them because they care about what other people think about them.
yeah,
Don't like treating people like numbers. That's going to be more interest. Okay, interest people. We really like systematic people can crunch people down to resources and numbers and stuff like that. Interest people don't like that. That's a very not. You're talking about your dream interpretation. That's gonna be abstract. Big thing here, you said afraid of what other people think, and you couldn't be yourself, and because of the judgmental, that's gonna be TE inferior right there. That's big TE inferior. Just based off that alone, I'm down to 2 types if I really wanted to be like that. Seeing all those options again, NE. I'm good at reading people. That's gonna be interests, and there's a certain type that's really good at reading people. You said you like to be a manager of a community, bringing people together, making everyone feel included. That's affiliative. Lose sense of self to grow economically. You don't like that about people. That's gonna be affiliative. Again, you really care about individuality. That's gonna be FI. So with that being said, I got you as an INFP.
Yeah.
Same. We're communicating to each other.
So yeah. I mean, you got your type right, man. Congratulations. For some reason, INFPs, sometimes they could be INFJs. So
Yeah, that's what I kind of was like unsure because it was kind of like on the fence, even though it was more leaning towards INFP. I appreciate it though. So
So, but did you want to, like, did it bother you to go on camera?
yeah, it did. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
At the force, that's how you
Yeah.
do it. But you feel so much better afterwards, man. Like the small things you do add up over the course of time, and
Yeah.
you'd be a lot better, man. I mean, you did an awesome job, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys very much.
And if you're gonna be a manager of a community, man, you can't be scared to get on the camera,
No,
man.
I know. Yeah, it's very like contradictory. So
Yeah.
hopefully,
Shelley, what do you think he is, a 9 Enneagram?
Yeah.
Yeah. 9. That's usually INFPs. 9 Enneagram. But man, it was a pleasure, man. You
no,
got any
thank you
questions
guys
for us?
very much.
You got any
Appreciate it.
questions for us?
Nah, I appreciate it though. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem, man. INFP, man. It was an awesome session, man.
All
You
right,
have a
thank you
great day
guys
at
very
home.
much. You too. Thanks.
All right, brother. Hope to see you in the community.
All right, bye.
All right, Shelley.